Let's assume these are mustard seeds. And it's written that if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you shall be able to command impossibilities to become possibilities. But again, I have a question. Have you ever felt like your faith is too small for God to use, just small as the seeds? And have you ever felt like your prayers are too weak to make an impact? That your dreams are too impossible to become actualized? That your struggles are too weak to be overcome? This is what Jesus goes on to say, that if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, not just mountain-sized faith, not just crowd-shaking faith, but just as small as a mustard seed. Because God does not require the great faith. He only requires the true faith. But again, you need to understand that a mustard seed is small, but alive. The mustard seed is one of the tiniest in the garden. Yet, inside that seed is the DNA of a tree. It may look like much, but again, it's alive. It might not even look like much, but again, it's destined to grow. So we understand that faith is not measured by the size, but by the source, and the source now being Jesus Christ. But again, this faith connects us to God's power, not even our own strength. You see that? And again, you need to understand that a mustard seed is meant to be planted. A seed left in your hand stays a seed. Faith is not for show. It is meant to be planted, exercised, spoken, and then acted on. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just plant whatever you have. That's why it's written that don't despise the small days of your beginnings, because God can take whatever is small and then makes it to grow into something unshakable. But again, we get to understand that a mustard seed grows with time and then conditions. And that's why it is written in Mark chapter 4, verse 30 to verse 32, that the mustard seed, once planted, grows larger than all the herbs, but it doesn't grow overnight. And we get to understand that faith grows when it's fed by the word of God, by prayer, and then by surrender. Because we understand that faith comes by healing, and then healing by the word of God. So your mustard seed may not look like much now, but in the right soil of God's promises, it becomes a tree of testimony. But again, also we understand that a mustard seed moves mountains and then uproots trees. Jesus didn't even exaggerate on this. He was teaching that faith, though small, carries kingdom authority. You see that? In Luke 17 and then verse 6 goes on to say that faith that uproots the sycamore tree. Now, the sycamore tree there is a symbol of bitterness, strongholds, and then deep-rooted issues. And by this, we understand that faith speaks to things that man cannot fix. Faith dares to say, move, when logic, says it is impossible. But again, we understand that a mustard seed blesses others. The mustard seed planted becomes a tree where birds can nest. Faith may start personal, but it becomes a blessing to others, your family, your community, your generation. So your mustard seed can shelter others. Your story, your testimony, your journey of trusting God can lift someone else out of doubt. So don't wait for big faith. Start with what you have. Speak it, live it. Don't compare your seed. God doesn't require, imitation. Just trust in the process. Keep sowing. Keep trusting God. Faith is not magic. It's a journey. Let your mustard seed grow. It may be hidden now, but one day it will stand as a proof of God's power. You see that? So I declare over your life that may your faith that is small become great and then become a true faith. That may God let it grow and let it actually, sprout to make impossibilities to become possibilities for you. Bye.